The internet is officially melting down over Cardi B and Stefon Diggs after their highly public, undeniably cozy appearance at a Mother's Day charity gala on May 9th. The internet erupted over the cozy pictures, and Offset absolutely lost his mind. Amid intense social media outbursts, escalating feud dynamics, and genuinely unhinged internet threats, this toxic situation is spiraling completely out of control. Today, we are deep diving into exactly why Offset is physically incapable of moving past his ex, alongside the chaotic fallout of this viral footage. On Saturday, May 9th, 2026, Stefon Diggs launched his Diggs Deep Foundation Mother's Day Wellness Seminar around the Washington, D.C. sector. The high-profile gathering was branded a moment for mothers under his personal charity network, an operation designed to fund public outreach programs centering on youth education, physical fitness, and general childhood health. Yet absolutely nobody anticipated the celebrity guest who crashed the party. Stefon Diggs celebrated his massive courtroom victory by pressing a smooth, affectionate kiss right onto Cardi B's face mid-event. The NFL icon managed his Diggs Deep Foundation Mother's Day wellness program Saturday, while his baby mama Cardi made a dramatic appearance, clinging heavily to the celebrated pass catcher for photographers. The raw media leaked courtesy of DC area sports commentator Kelsey Nicole Nelson. She uploaded the initial recording of the couple attending the Diggs Deep Foundation Mother's Day wellness gathering. Within the frame, viewers witnessed Cardi snuggling directly against his body while he locks an arm around her torso, leaning down to plant a kiss on her cheek. That footage corrupted Twitter, dominated TikTok, and saturated Instagram. The madness did not end there. A secondary clip emerged via an alternate profile called Fearbuck, exposing Stefon Diggs and Cardi B acting completely inseparable during the function. The documentation captured Diggs kissing Cardi on the side of her skull, whispering closely with her once flashbulb stopped. Media distributed across social feeds featured the recording artist and professional athlete posing for press media together against a massive pink backdrop, grinning widely while locking each other in tight embraces. Throughout the viral footage suffocating digital feeds, Diggs is captured kissing Cardi's face while firmly wrapping both hands around her waistline as onlookers recorded the spectacle. Even after media outlets lowered their lenses, the pair maintained an intensely romantic vibe, with Cardi smoothly sliding her hand across Diggs's chest. They were not merely performing for the media cameras, either. According to press agents on the scene, Stefon and Cardi individually greeted every single mother present, conversing intimately with the crowd to guarantee each guest walked away with a profound memory. Here is the exact timeline friction that transformed a standard charitable event into an absolute digital atomic bomb. The 33-year-old superstar rap artist and 32-year-old New England Patriots superstar wideout were widely reported to have split months ago near the conclusion of the 2026 Super Bowl. Yet this explosive footage circulating online suggests the controversial couple has officially reunited. The chaotic update completely hijacked X, where multimedia posts tracking the dynamic secured millions of impressions within mere hours. Cyber users flooded comment sections using tailored tracking tags, leaving statements shifting between ecstatic praise and deep resentment regarding their toxic history. A single universally mirrored clip pulled from the charity drive pulled thousands of interactions, igniting a massive debate over whether this represents a permanent romantic restoration or a simple co-parenting arrangement. This was far from a casual Hollywood sighting. This was Cardi B, the estranged partner of Offset, a mother navigating 4 children via 2 separate partners, willingly entering her ex-boyfriend's charity launch, letting him fondle her publicly days after he beat a massive criminal trial to walk away a cleared individual, all while remaining legally wed to another artist. Trust that he has thoughts on this. He permanently has toxic rants prepared. To analyze why these frames triggered such a massive emotional reaction, you must dissect the volatile relationship between Cardi and Diggs from earlier this calendar year. Because prior to this public Mother's Day spectacle, the entire entertainment world assumed this pairing was dead. The 33-year-old global hitmaker and Diggs, 32, abruptly severed ties right as the athlete performed during Super Bowl 2026 on February 8th, right after a game that witnessed the Seahawks utterly obliterate the Patriots 29-13. The public figures instantly wiped each other from their social feeds, with close associates informing media outlets that Cardi fundamentally lost faith in Diggs. There was a glaring red flag right before the Super Bowl kickoff exposing the rot within their relationship. Cardi gave obvious clues that their partnership was collapsing when an ESPN field anchor questioned her pregame, asking if she possessed any motivational words for Diggs. Her face hardened instantly, her cheerful expression vanishing as she muttered, "Good luck," before rapidly dodging the microphone. That particular interview trended globally for catastrophic reasons. An insider confirmed following the incident, Cardi refuses to tolerate games. The exact second she realized she could no longer rely on his loyalty, she detached completely to dedicate her energy toward her offspring, her recording career, and her stadium dates. An additional source illustrated an even darker dynamic. A separate insider revealed, Their situation is perpetually toxic. This is nowhere near the first breakup they have endured. The narrative morphed further once an alternative report explained to Us Weekly. Cardi is unattached and exploring her options again. She feels liberated. He broke her trust countless times. Her circle has spent months explaining that he is toxic for her peace and that she earned a superior partner. So by the middle of February 2026, public perception stabilized. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs were entirely over. She embarked on her chaotic Little Miss drama concert run. He scrambled to survive the public fallout from the Patriots' embarrassing championship defeat alongside his subsequent termination from the organization. New England cut the expensive veteran receiver early in the free agency period, an executive choice that salvaged over $16 million in salary room while burning the remaining seasons of his multi-year agreement. Yet Cardi dropped multiple hints about her lingering heartbreak throughout her stadium performances. Cardi, who previously shared a marriage with Offset prior to aligning with Diggs, avoided screaming specific identities while flaming her previous boyfriends on stage, yelling out, "You cannot exploit me," before screaming that toxic men continuously beg for a woman of her caliber. She told packed arenas that she was far too attractive to sleep alone and far too mature to be manipulated by athletes. Then came the public feud involving BIA. After the Boston lyricist publicly joked that Diggs possessed more baby mamas than actual court passes, Cardi utilized her massive platform during the Los Angeles stop of her arena tour to set boundaries. She might criticize Diggs herself, but she tolerates zero outside interference. She informed the stadium crowd right before dropping her next record that just because she is currently feuding with her child's father does not grant random women permission to disrespect him. That established a hard boundary line. She actively shielded the co-parent of her toddler even while living entirely apart from his household. Then the digital breadcrumbs began compounding daily. Their high-profile public reconciliation follows multiple instances where Diggs was personally recorded supporting Cardi throughout various venues on her Little Miss drama stadium run. Earlier this cycle, the star-wide receiver attended her Washington, D.C. performance flanked by his immediate family, later surfacing behind the main stage during an alternate performance interacting directly with Cardi's toddler. While dominating the microphone in D.C., the hip-hop star hilariously shouted out a Maryland athlete for lifting her up, a phrase pop culture critics instantly assigned to Diggs, who spent his youth in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Diggs alongside his mother and siblings stood directly in that identical VIP section, with audience recordings exposing them partying hard within the arena. Following the conclusion, Stefon immediately joined the rapper's exclusive afterparty hosted at Throw Social. Cardi was documented exiting the establishment seconds after Stefon and his entourage, sharing a brief conversation before sliding into his luxury white vehicle to disappear with him. So, that final separation was starting to look incredibly artificial. And then the Mother's Day documentation leaked, causing whatever public skepticism remained to dissolve instantly against a heavily decorated pink media wall and an intimate public kiss. Now enters the specific component the entire internet was actively anticipating. Because whenever Cardi B breathes in the same direction as Stefon Diggs, there is one specific man who instantly voices his absolute rage. Offset. To be perfectly objective, Offset's public meltdowns regarding this entire situation have been a bizarre spectacle to witness, evolving from staged indifference to total digital self-destruction. Let's look back at the genesis of this mess when Cardi and Diggs originally surfaced together during Coachella 2025. Newly leaked media exposed the Bodak Yellow artist grinding directly on the NFL pass catcher, and those images quickly oversaturated every gossip feed online. The pair had been plagued by dating rumors since the start of that calendar year, especially after footage of them celebrating Valentine's Day together in Miami emerged back in February. However, those festival uploads provided the most undeniable proof that the two icons were officially sleeping together. So when an online spectator commented that Offset was punching the air under the upload, the former Migos star snapped back, "I'm happy for her." That specific sentence stunned pop culture analysts. It projected an entirely alternate energy compared to the aggressive commentary he routinely launched regarding his ex-wife's previous romantic endeavors, but that brief armistice evaporated instantly. The second Cardi made their union Instagram official, Offset's entire demeanor warped into absolute fury. Offset aggressively utilized his digital profiles to briefly broadcast his raw rage regarding the relationship binding his estranged spouse Cardi B to NFL asset Stefon Diggs. The Atlanta performer generated and immediately pulled down two aggressive posts on X right after Cardi validated her new relationship online. Phenomenal marketing rollout, NPR, sneered Offset. Furthermore, the veteran rap artist circulated a media meme depicting a player passing a basketball over text reading, "Today I will pass." He minimized the entire romance as a cheap media stunt, but the situation deteriorated rapidly from there. The fresh couple generated massive controversy when footage from a luxury yacht excursion leaked online. While off-season workouts were technically voluntary, Diggs skipping team activities was heavily condemned by head coach Mike Vrabel, considering it marked his debut season with the Patriots franchise. Offset similarly despised the exotic vacation media, posting online, "Phenomenal marketing rollout, PR." He subsequently wiped his entire X platform and deactivated his Instagram network after firing off a succession of unhinged posts early Tuesday warning that someone might get murdered, apparently triggered by an image implying his and Cardi's toddler wave shares an identical haircut with Diggs. That specific warning stated, "Now when someone loses their life for disrespecting my blood, don't label me a crash out." That was an explicit death threat sparked over a toddler's hairline. He immediately vaporized his entire internet footprint. And when Cardi and Diggs celebrated the birth of their infant son in November 2025, Offset uploaded and quickly deleted, "My toddler, LOL," mockingly claiming authorship of the newborn child on his personal Instagram stories. Cardi found absolutely zero humor in the stunt. She fires back online. "You primitives think this drama is hilarious, but it isn't. It has been over a calendar year and I am still surviving constant harassment and life threats to the extent that I feel my survival is compromised. This is a joke to the public until a tragedy occurs." Long before the partnership surfaced publicly, the initial timeline was already incredibly toxic. It was previously argued by online commentators that Cardi B stepped outside her marriage, cheating on Offset with Stefon Diggs while carrying her third pregnancy, speaking directly on his Rumble broadcast. The highly polarizing digital commentator asserted that the female rap titan was caught exchanging highly suggestive text messages with the former Houston Texans asset. Those specific assertions hit the media right after Offset publicly accused Cardi of stepping out on him while she was pregnant. Days prior, the rapper literally hijacked his estranged wife's live broadcast to type out, "You slept around with a fetus inside. Confess." So for Offset, this represents no fresh trauma. This is a severe laceration that is being aggressively aggravated daily. Every single trending photo, every public display of affection, every single instance where Diggs is recorded lurking backstage at Cardi's concerts or planting kisses on her face during philanthropic galas handles the damage. And with this latest Mother's Day media, that exact trauma was ripped completely open for the global public to mock. The strategic timing of this Mother's Day footage was completely transparent to onlookers, because exactly 4 days prior, Stefon Diggs walked away from a Massachusetts courthouse a completely exonerated individual. A criminal jury cleared former Patriots target Stefon Diggs of every single charge during a high-stakes trial where he stood accused of physically assaulting and choking his private domestic chef during a volatile wage dispute at his estate last December. The judicial panel inside Dedham District Court spent less than 2 hours reviewing evidence before delivering an acquittal for Diggs regarding felony strangulation or suffocation alongside misdemeanor assault and battery charges. The dark cloud had suffocated Diggs' career for months. The criminal prosecution originated from a December 2nd altercation inside his Dedham residence where Jamila Adams, a resident domestic culinary artist known professionally as Mila, claimed under oath that Diggs struck and choked her during a shouting match. She outlined what she termed a highly volatile dynamic, admitting the arrangement had historically been physical but was entirely platonic when the alleged violence occurred. The defense team completely atomized the government's narrative with clinical precision. Trial lawyer Andrew Kettlewell explained to panel members that zero physical documentation proved an altercation transpired. Zero assault took place, zero choking occurred, zero incident materialized whatsoever, Kettlewell argued. Kettlewell explained to the jury that Jamila Adams, who operated as Diggs' personal chef throughout the previous athletic cycle while residing inside his Dedham estate, functioned as a completely unreliable narrator. He asserted she completely manufactured the criminal claims to deliberately destroy Diggs' public image. The defense additionally introduced physical exhibits that completely destroyed Adams' personal honesty. He highlighted video footage capturing Adams functioning normally in the dates immediately following the alleged crime, emphasizing that she actively attempted to gain access to Diggs' private quarters upon returning to the property. Kettlewell further exposed wiped communications, highlighting one specific text stating, "Destroying that man's life," paired with an ironical fairy graphic. He proved these hidden texts indicated the altercation revolved around another female asset rather than unpaid compensation. Alternate eyewitnesses heavily validated the defense's timeline of events. Diggs' personal hairstylist, Miss Charles, testified under oath that Adams explicitly detailed strategies to launch a civil lawsuit over compensation and broadcast the scandal to entertainment blogs, yet never once alleged she sustained physical harm. Natalia Moses, who confirmed she logged hours with both Adams and Charles, similarly stated she observed zero physical trauma on the victim. She highlighted media clips showing Adams partying and laughing normally, confirming Adams never once communicated that Diggs had laid hands on her. The presiding magistrate was forced to step in mid-testimony. Judge G. Marie Carroll reprimanded Adams directly at one point, stating, This trial is not a platform for you to insert your personal theories and dodge cross-examination, threatening that persistent evasive answers would cause her entire testimony to be completely wiped from the record. The moment the non-guilty decision was spoken aloud, Diggs stood before the bench, blinking rapidly with an obvious tear tracing down his face. His personal representative, Mitch Schuster, addressed media scrums immediately afterward. The man is overwhelmed, but he is liberated. He is ecstatic that his reputation has been completely restored. Schuster then highlighted the systematic fallout, releasing an official press brief stating, "Intimate partner violence is an incredibly massive problem across this nation, and it remains deeply troubling when individuals weaponize it as a tool, manufacturing fraudulent claims specifically to extort corporate wealth." The total acquittal completely restored the trajectory for Diggs' athletic future as well. The legal victory clears the track for Diggs, currently an NFL free agent, to execute a contract with a fresh franchise prior to the 2026 athletic season. Whichever organization acquires his services is gaining an elite asset, one of Diggs' legal representatives stated following the victory. Diggs secured 85 receptions for 1,183 yards paired with 4 touchdowns during his singular campaign with the Patriots, acting as a crucial engine toward the franchise's run to the 2026 Super Bowl. Therefore, the individual kissing Cardi B at that Mother's Day gathering was a man who had literally just decoupled from the most destructive legal threat of his entire athletic and human existence. The celebration media instantly gained massive psychological layers. This was no longer a simple entertainment couple testing a romantic restoration. This was an athlete fresh off an absolute legal miracle standing beside the mother of his child against a pink media war at his personal charity gala. To analyze the absolute devastation of why Offset snaps the way he does every single time Cardi and Diggs appear together, you must pull back and survey the total destruction defining 2026 for Offset individually. Cardi shares 3 direct heirs with her estranged spouse, Offset, whom she targeted with divorce papers for the second time back in 2024. This separation process has been an absolute nightmare. Offset reportedly launched counterfilings demanding ongoing spousal maintenance from the Bodak Yellow star while maintaining his legal battle for shared custody of their children, even though he accepts Cardi B's estate should function as their primary home base. Then the explosive paternity battle materialized. The court dockets expose an incredibly messy legal war. Offset reportedly demanded an immediate DNA screening targeting the infant boy Cardi be delivered in November 2025 alongside her current partner, NFL icon Stefon Diggs. While a magistrate recently shut down that particular petition, the bench did authorize Offset to advance with a forced DNA verification targeting an alternate child of Cardi's. This triggered a completely unhinged reality in November 2025 when Offset famously circulated that short-lived social media story claiming, "My toddler, law," immediately following the delivery of Cardi and Stefon Diggs' son. And that fails to even touch the most life-threatening incident of Offset's 2026 calendar, because on April 6th, a mere few weeks before this Mother's Day video leaked, Offset was literally gunned down outside a Southern casino. Offset was shot directly outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino located in Hollywood, Florida. We can explicitly confirm Offset sustained gunshot wounds and is currently hospitalized under professional observation, stated the official media representative. His condition is stable and medical staff are monitoring his recovery. The FBI subsequently exposed the massive gravity of the targeted hit. Offset was violently ambushed by a massive criminal syndicate attempting to strip him of assets outside the Florida establishment. While he sustained a bullet wound to his leg, federal agents clarified that during the physical struggle, a solitary round was discharged into Offset's lower limb prior to a failed scramble to yank the artist's luxury watch off his wrist. Rapper Lil Tay was taken into custody following an intense physical dispute that transpired immediately before the gunfire erupted. He faced charges centering on disorderly conduct alongside operating a motor vehicle without legitimate registration. In a development that completely blindsided pop culture fans, Offset was severely hurt during that casino ambush, and Cardi B reportedly tossed aside all ongoing bitterness surrounding the divorce proceedings to rush to his bedside. That specific window proved that despite the vitriol, the death threats, the digital meltdowns, the deleted rants, and the paternity litigation, a deep psychological cord still anchors these two figures together. Yet within a mere few weeks of Cardi verifying Offset's survival following his shooting, she was front and center at Stefon Diggs' philanthropic gala, receiving kisses on her face and caressing the exact athlete Offset has spent the last 18 months fighting across global media headlines. Diggs additionally functions as a father to 5 alternate children spread across 5 separate women. 4 of those specific infants were delivered during the 2025 calendar cycle, the exact same year he produced a son alongside Cardi. This exact metric has been weaponized by Offset's loyalists and his detractors alike, depending on which specific agenda they are attempting to validate online. For Offset's camp, the data proves Diggs is identical to his own flawed behavior. For Cardi's fanbase, The data proves she has transitioned to fresh dynamics and Offset needs to accept reality. While Cardi and Diggs refuse to publish their infant's legal identity, Cardi, who also manages Toddlers Culture, 7, Wave, 4, and Blossom, 1, with her ex Offset, dropped hints that their boy features an athletic football-themed name when users questioned her regarding baby pictures. Neither Cardi B nor Diggs has delivered an official press statement clarifying their romantic status, and publicists representing both camps failed to offer immediate feedback to media inquiries, but this footage renders commentary entirely useless. The face kisses, the waist physical contact, the intimate chest touching once media cameras deactivated, alongside the joint hosting of every single mother at the charity drive together tells the story. That is 0% co-parenting. That is an active relationship. And for Offset, a man currently rehabilitating from a literal gunshot wound, navigating a catastrophic divorce, fighting paternity validity, and watching the mother of his 3 oldest children display intense public devotion toward a rival male, every single digital upload, every single image, every single viral post functions as a brutal reminder of a reality that completely detached from his hands. Whether he reacts to this current media cycle via an encrypted post-and-delete stunt, an explosive live stream, or absolute radio silence, the behavioral loop is set. The psychological structure has been completely transparent since the initial moment Cardi was captured dancing all over Stefon Diggs at Coachella and Offset typed out, "I'm happy for her," backed by an exclamation mark he completely fabricated. This specific Mother's Day footage is going to haunt the internet permanently. Not because the clip was overtly toxic. In reality, the exchange appeared incredibly loving and authentic, but because it embodies the absolute singular element Offset is entirely powerless to manipulate throughout this entire war. The reality that Cardi B is actively validating a completely alternate man across global media repeatedly, and there is zero content he can post, scrub, or threaten that will ever alter that reality.